السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، صلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا ثم أما بعد. What's the ruling on racing the Imam in Salah? Ya Jama'ah, is it okay to race the Imam in Salah? I mean, who's smarter, the one who finishes first or the one who finishes last? Is that about compete with the Imam? Should he first and finish with the Imam? What's the ruling on that? Huh? Is it even competition between you and the Imam? So why rushing into sujood or ruku' when the Imam is still barely moving from one spot to the other one? Okay, he's too slow, right? The Imam is too slow, ya akhi, for me. I'm in a hurry. You know, especially those who actually rush in their salah from one position to the other one behind the Imam, they don't realize, regardless how fast you go, you're going to still finish after the Imam gives the salam. So therefore, just relax and slow down. Yani. It's not worth it. Just relax and slow down. The question that people ask, does that break the salah? Does that break your salah? So basically, if you race with the Imam, meaning the Imam barely finishing recitation, and he's barely raising his hand to make ruku', and by the time he says Allah, you're already making ruku'. The Imam is barely saying Sami Allah, and you're already up. So does that break your salah or not? Let's see what the Prophet ﷺ says about that. Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala says, Babu tahrimi raf'i al-ma'mumi ra'sahu min al-ruku'i aw al-sujudi qabla al-imam. This is a chapter on the prohibition of raising one's head before the Imam, in ruku' or sujood. And he mentioned hadith Abi Hurairah radiyallahu anhu, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال أما يخشى أحدكم إذا رفع رأسه قبل الإمام أن يجعل الله رأسه رأس حمار أو يجعل الله صورته صورة حمار. متفق عليه. In this hadith, the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم is mentioning a very serious warning over here. Even if you don't understand the Arabic language, maybe you know the word himar, right? What's the meaning of himar? Donkey. So how is that has to do with what we're talking about? Look how dangerous that is in hadith al-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, does he who raises his head before the Imam not fear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make his head that of a donkey, or make his appearance similar to that of a donkey? What does that mean? Imagine someone raising his head before the Imam and suddenly his ears go long. Yani. Imagine. Is that metaphoric expression, or that something that is physically possible? Now, I believe physically it's possible. Allah qadir ala kulli shay, right? But in the history of Islam and the history of the Ummah, it never happened. Therefore, thus far, we know that this hadith is a threat, is a warning. As if the Prophet ﷺ saying that the one who does that doesn't understand. Like how the donkey, regards what you tell the donkey, it doesn't heed what you're saying. So don't be like that. Don't put yourself in the position to be humiliated like the Prophet ﷺ saying in this hadith. So racing the Imam and raising your head before, or just going right away before the Imam goes into the ruku' and sujood, it's not worth it. I know some people, when the Imam goes, Sami Allah liman hamida Rabbana lakal hamd, the moment they say Rabbana lakal hamd, what do? They grab their knees and they're about to go to the sujood, waiting for the Imam to give the cue, Allahu Akbar. As if they're in a rush, in a race, or in a fight whatsoever. They dive into the sujood. It's not worth it. You're not supposed to your shoulders are not supposed to actually to bend down until the Imam's forehead is already on the ground. You're not supposed to raise your head from the ruku' until the Imam completely stands up in his position. So if the Imam says Allahu Akbar, you wait until the Imam finishes Allahu Akbar, then you move. I know, you heard from some fuqaha that it's okay to kind of move with the Imam. So as the Imam says Allah, everybody moves with the Imam, Allahu Akbar. However, the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, from linguistically speaking, it's clear that you only move when the Imam has already arrived in that next position in Salah. So once the Imam says Allahu Akbar, then you do Allahu Akbar after him. When the Imam says Allahu Akbar, go to the ruku', wait until you make sure that the Imam is actually already in ruku', and then you just bow down. And then when the Imam says Sami Allahu liman hamida, wait until he finishes Sami Allahu liman hamida, then you get up. When the Imam says Allahu Akbar, goes to the sujood, you wait until he completes Allahu Akbar, then you go down. What if the imam, of those imams who prolongs the takbir between the two positions? So some imams, let's say between ruku', between standing and sujood position, they go like this, Allahu Akbar, which is it's a correct actually position in terms of doing it. Some fuqaha, they do that. Some ulama, they still actually they promote that as well. Another ulama, they say no, takbir is right when you start the position, and then you move afterwards. So you say Allahu Akbar, then you move to the sujood, for instance. So if the imam is prolonging his takbir, you wait. Still stay in a position until the imam finishes his takbir. That is even better for you, because now you know that he arrived to his next position in salah. And then you do your takbir afterwards. Okay, what if it was the opposite? The imam is too fast. So when the imam says Allahu Akbar to the ruku', you're waiting for the imam to finish his takbir, right? So you say Allahu Akbar, and then once he finished, by the time you go down, he's saying Sami'a Allahu liman hamida. You wait for the imam, by the time the imam finishes Sami'a Allahu liman hamida, you want to get up, he's already in sujood. So the imam is basically two rukuns ahead of you in salah. Yani. If you cannot catch up with the imam in that fashion, that means the imam is definitely very fast in salah. Maybe you should talk to the imam, says, Jazakallah khair, mashallah, reward you, and your salah is awesome. But sometimes I cannot catch up, with the tasbih and dhikr and so on. In this case, have some nice conversation in a polite way with the imam, inshallah ta'ala. If you get slapped, may Allah be with you. Fi sabilillah, inshallah. But at least a nasiha is good. And we give nasiha to one another, inshallah ta'ala. The point the Prophet is mentioning over here is that when you do your salah, you're not racing against anything. You're winning time in your salah, wallahi. You're not losing time. You are winning time. That time that you win is essential for your soul and for your spirit. Because you have all these hours and all these minutes to do what you do in dunya. You go eating, you go playing, you go studying, you go working, you go whatever that you do in this dunya. You have all this time. Your spirit and your soul needs some time, needs a break. And the break that you give your soul, subhanAllah, you're even taking shortcuts in that break. No wonder you always remain exhausted spiritually. No wonder you don't enjoy your ibadah and your salah, because you're not giving it that respect and time and perfection that it's supposed to take. So this hadith is warning us against kind of taking shortcuts and cutting corners when it comes to our salah. Don't race with the imam. Make sure that when you pray, you're not losing, knowing that you're not losing time in your salah. Instead, you're earning time. You're actually winning that time in your salah and your ibadah, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. May Allah make us among those who listen to the speech and follow the best of it. May Allah make us among those who follow the example of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wallahu alam. Yes. When the imam says وَلَا then you all say Ameen. Because that's what Ameen needs to be said. Yani. Wallahu alam. Yeah. You don't wait the imam to say Ameen and then you say, no, you say وَلَا you say Ameen right away. Yes. If you're the imam, do you say takbir first and move to the position? No, you say the takbir while you're moving to the position. Now, yes. The two positions are valid. The question is about salam. Should you wait the imam to finish both salams, right and left? Or should you start making the salam right, when he moves to the right and then he moves to the left? Both positions are valid in books of fiqh. So either way is okay. Wallahu a'lam. If you ask me personally, I say until the imam finishes both positions and then you make your taslim. Yes. If the jama'ah is made of two people, one is imam, the other is ma'mum, should the imam be one step ahead of the ma'mum? He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. But if he does, it's okay. Yes.
So if you miss one rak'ah, do you have like the same rule apply? Do you have to wait for the two?
Okay, if you miss one rak'ah and the imam gives salam to the right side, can you stand up to start your salah, or do you have to wait until the imam finishes the second taslim? You don't have to wait. Because once the imam gives his right salam, the salah is over, so you are allowed to start your salah. Nah.
Some of the imam after the second sujood does Allahu Akbar and the rest before standing up right away.
So some of the imams, yeah.
Right away.
Some of the Imam, they do what we call it Jalsatul Istiraha. In the odd number of the raka'at, after the first rak'ah, before you get up from the sujood to the second rak'ah, or after the third rak'ah, before he gets up to the fourth rak'ah, the Imam sometimes does Julusul Istiraha, which means he comes from the sujood, like catching his breath, and then he gets up to the third and fourth rak'ah, the second and fourth rak'ah in the Salah. So in this case, where would the Imam say his takbir? The Imam says his takbir when he is about to get up from that position of istiraha to the standing up position. Naam. Wallah. By the way, since we're talking about Salah, just since it's a promotion of the class right now, inshallah ta'ala, the new class of Al-Maghrib Institute actually here in the Dallas area is coming up the last double weekend, the last weekend of May and the first weekend of June. The last weekend of May and the first weekend of June, I'm going to be teaching this class inshallah ta'ala. It's called Divine Link, the Fiqh and the Spirit of Salah. You guys are all invited to attend. This is a class that's going to change the way you see Salah and the way you do Salah. Inshallah, hope we do in the right way, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. It's a life-changing experience. I want you to mark your calendars. Make sure you and your family attend this class. Wallahi, it's not like any other Salah class that you've maybe attended. It's a very special way of learning about Salah. More than just how to do it, is how to understand it and how to love your Salah, inshallah ta'ala.
Where will be the class?
It's going to be, we're still looking for the venue. Most likely, it's going to be an Omni Hotel over here, which is 5 minutes away from here. So you don't have any excuse to say, well, I don't know, it's too far. Hopefully, it's going to be here. We're still not confirmed yet. If we have the 2 weekends available in that hotel, we'll do it there, inshallah. Huh? Well, I'm moving this way. I'm moving this way. Yes.
2 quick questions. So if you're doing jama'ah at home with your wife, where should your wife stand?
If you're making jama'ah, you and your wife, where should your wife stand? Next to you, right away, or behind you? One line behind you. The answer, inshallah, is going to be in the class, bi'idhnillah azza wa jal. No, seriously, basically, she stands one line behind you. Nah, yes. Oh, another question?
Second question is, there's some imams after saying Ameen, they wait a little bit,
Uh-huh.
and some imams just start
The Fatiha, the other surah.
Are you obliged to read the Fatiha afterward?
So do you have to recite the Fatiha after the Imam finishes his Fatiha, if he recites in Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr out loud? If you follow a specific school of thought, then it's because there are multiple opinions. Wallahu alam, I believe that you should recite the Fatiha regardless. However, if the Imam doesn't give you time to recite the Fatiha, recite that faster, a little bit quickly, and then remain quiet for the rest of the Salah. But you still need to recite Surah Al-Fatiha.
So you didn't answer the question. You said, what if the Imam goes faster? So we go, even if we don't finish, what do you have to say? Do you follow the Imam? Or
If the Imam is super fast, let me put it this way. If the Imam is super fast, that he's literally 2 rukuns ahead of you, then don't pray Jama'ah with him at that moment. Meaning, if the Imam is already 2 rukuns ahead of you, pray on your own, as if you're masbuq. You get that point? So let's say I'm still coming back from my ruku' and the Imam is already in his sujood. So I'm saying, Sami Allah, and he's Allahu Akbar. By the time I'm going to go to my sajda, where is he going to be? He's going to be up from that sajda, getting ready to the next sajda. So if you get in a position like this with the Imam, then you need to separate from that Imam and pray by yourself. Or, another position, that rak'ah, if you're now way far apart from the Imam, that rak'ah will be cancelled for you. Just join the Imam in his position, wherever he is, and follow him. If the speed was still reasonable. But if he's really super fast, in this case, Allah musta'an, shouldn't be praying behind that Imam.
You will be alone now.
No. Actually, I don't know if you've seen, they always pop these videos pop out on YouTube every now and then. On some of those Imams, specifically the Taraweeh Imams, mashallah. And they call them supersonic Imams. This begin Allahu Akbar, they go to Salam right away. What happens in between is just like, mashallah, like closing your eyes and opening your eyes.
but the flip side is sometimes they're slow in reciting the Imam goes, so do you still wait, follow him?
If the Imam is slow,
The Imam is going at a decent pace, but you are slow.
oh, you are very slow. Very slow because of what? Health condition, or because you're just enjoying the ibadah, mashallah, big time? If you're enjoying the ibadah big time, then you need to speed up a little bit, so that at least you catch with the Imam the arkan of Salah. But if you're too slow because of health condition, like for example, if I'm going to be standing and going to ruku' or sujood, I have back problems and so on, pray on a chair so you can move faster at faster pace, inshallah ta'ala. Ma'am. Last question. Actually, I got another one over there. Yes, go ahead.
صلاة غير الجهر
نعم.
الظهر والعصر. If you recite after the Fatiha, it's like so small surah and the Imam, mashallah, Surah Al-Baqarah. What do you do between this time?
So if you're praying Dhuhr and Asr, silent Salah. Yeah, the first 2 rak'ah, you recite Fatiha, another surah with that, right? Let's say I recite the Fatiha by myself, because I'm behind the Imam right now. I recite the Fatiha and I recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad. But the Imam decided to recite Surah Al-Baqarah silently. MashaAllah. What am I going to do right now in that position?
Tasbih?
No tasbih, recite more surahs. You recite more surahs. Keep reciting more Quran. You know, what if I don't know except for Surah Al-Fatiha? Repeat that, Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Repeat that tons of times. Keep repeating it until the Imam goes to the ruku'. So if the Imam goes to the ruku' and I'm in the middle, halfway in the surah, what do? Should I interrupt the recitation and move with the Imam, or should I finish the surah? No, interrupt your recitation and move with the Imam. Last question, inshallah. Fadlan.
So what's the best thing to do if I come to the masjid and it's like 9 o'clock, Salah is at 9 o'clock, and the sheikh is not in the position, like he's not at the Salah. Do we stand and wait, or do I sit down and wait?
So Isha is at 9:15. Let's say I come at 9:14 and the Imam is not getting ready for the Jama'ah, for instance. What do I do in this case? What is the etiquette? I've seen it's very common. Most people, they stand up waiting for the Imam to come. Like, where is he? Like, please, Ya Jama'ah, where is he? Allah musta'an. You see, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they didn't have 9:15, 9:20 and so on. Rasulullah ﷺ كان إذا رأى الناس اجتمعوا عجل وإذا أبطأوا أخر. He monitors the crowd. If they all there, if he see that the crowd already is gathering in the masjid, he would call for the iqamah. If he sees the people are slowing down, he would give them extra time. So that at least, they do the recitation, they join the Jama'ah. Umar bin Khattab, imagine if I do that, Ya Jama'ah. Umar bin Khattab radiallahu ta'ala, he used to start the Salah, the first rak'ah, he would recite a long recitation. Why? To give the people a chance to join the Jama'ah before he goes to the ruku', so they don't miss the first rak'ah. Imagine if you start for Fajr and you start, let's say, Surah Taha, all from the beginning to the end, the first rak'ah. Everybody's going to start praying at home. Because they have to go to work, Sheikh, quickly, man. It wouldn't be fair for them. So it's the etiquette that if you come and the Imam is not in his position, if he is not around anywhere, start praying Tahiyatul Masjid. Yeah, but what if he comes and I get interrupted? Get into Salah and start at least 1 rak'ah. You get the reward for 1 rak'ah, and trying to make Tahiyatul Masjid before the Iqamah is called better than just standing there looking around, checking your cell phone or talking to people and so on. And it's adab. It's not really an adab with the Imam and with the Jama'ah, that when you come and the Imam is not at a spot and you know that he's somewhere, you start just waiting for him to come in. Just pray and enjoy, and wait for him to come. If you were able to catch, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Jazakum Allah khair. That was the last question, I thought.